Today, in this video, we are going to talk about the difference between a wireless access point and a Wi-Fi router. Now, a lot of people think that these two devices are the same thing, but even though they do look similar and they do similar things, they are in fact different. So let's first talk about a Wi-Fi router. Almost everyone who has an internet connection in their home would have a Wi-Fi router. Whether that Wi-Fi router is a separate device or if it is built in their modem. A Wi-Fi router is what allows multiple wired and wireless devices to join together in a local area network. It is also broadcast a Wi-Fi signal on that wireless device can connect to it, and it's all also have a built-in switch which is with several network ports so that a wired device can connect to it using Ethernet cable, and then that Wi-Fi router will directly connect to a modem to give those devices internet access. Wi-Fi router are mainly used in home and small offices. So here we have a typical home where a couple of desktops are connected to a Wi-Fi router built-in switch using cable, and we also have laptops and tablets that are connected wirelessly to the router. So now let's talk about a wireless access point. A wireless access point relays data between a wired network and wireless devices. It's basically a wired hub that uses by wireless devices to connect to an existing wired network. A wireless access point connects directly to an organization routers, where the router is then connected directly to a modem, which gives the wireless device access to the internet. Now, wireless access points are primarily used by medium to large organizations, and typically an organization will have multiple access points to make sure it covers the entire building. If the network administrator wants to manage this network and make certain changes, he would have to log into each Wi-Fi router to make that changes, and that could be a hassle and time consumption, especially if there were a lot of Wi-Fi routers. But if this office was using wireless access points instead, then all the management and all the changes in the configuration would be done by using this single router, which makes managing a network a lot easier. So all the wireless devices can be treated as a single subnet instead of being treated as a multiple subnets. If Wi-Fi routers were used, another difference between this is how devices are able to connect to them. Wireless access points are strictly for wireless devices to connect to, whereas Wi-Fi routers are able to accept connection from both wireless devices and wired devices. Because in addition to having a wireless antenna, Wi-Fi router will also have a built-in switch to accept Ethernet cable connections. Another difference is the firewall. Wireless access points don't have a firewall. While Wi-Fi routers will have a firewall, Wi-Fi routers will also have a built-in DHCP services. A DHCP services is what automatically assigns IP addresses to devices that are connected to it. So when devices connect to a Wi-Fi router, its built-in DHCP services will directly assign those devices an IP address. But since wireless applications don't have a DHCP services, the devices that are connected to it will get its IP addresses from the organization's router. So once a device connected to a wireless access point, the router will send the IP address through the wireless access point and then to the device. And another difference is that Wi-Fi routers will have a WAN port or internet port. A WAN or internet port is where you would plug into a network cable coming in from your modem, and this is what gives you Wi-Fi router and internet connection so it can pass it on to other devices. whereas a wireless access point doesn't have a WAN or internet port, so it cannot directly connect to a modem. It has to connect directly to a router instead, and then the router is what connected to a modem. And on a final note, wireless access points are often used to further extend and a network's existing wireless signals.